Hey, deserving listeners, this is a best of video in which I took all the different reaction videos that I did for Ed and Rose and I condensed it down by subject. And this next one is about how Ed thinks that Rose thinks that Ed is a meal ticket. So let's get to this video.
I'm worried that I'm her meal ticket and her way out of the Philippines.
As I've said before in other videos, both can be true. She can both consider you a meal ticket and also like you and want to continue to see where the relationship is going. Both can be true. When you come from a community in which everything is in question, money, food, shelter, safety, medical care, your child's education, your own education, employment, the fantasy, whether it's true or not, for a young woman to be like, so this American guy is going to marry me and take me to the United States where I'll have walls, I'll have doors, I'll have security, I'll have healthcare, I'll have pocket change, I'll have savings, I'll have a retirement account. My kid will go to school all the way through college and become a lawyer or a doctor or whatever, and he'll be happy, and he'll meet someone, and he'll be, they'll be happy together, and my grandkids will be happy, and my great grandkids will be happy, and I'll be able to really do that. I worry that for Ed, he's dichotomizing that. It's like, if there's any evidence that she is motivated partially by money, then this whole thing is a farce, which really just discounts the reality of what it's like for Rose to live. I'm making a lot of assumptions. I don't know if Rose would agree with my take on her situation, but it's at least a possibility that Ed should be considering.
And I already have questions about money in her sister, Maria, because she asked me for money. And is that what it's all about for Rose, my future wife?
If you live in a family, no security is secure. Money is not secure. Food is not secure. Shelter, safety, legal help, political power, medical help, mental health. None of these things are available. Maybe you get a little bit here and there. And it's a struggle. It's a fight. Just to give you an example, say the mother in the family gets breast cancer. Well, in a lot of communities, I don't know if this is true for Rose's family, but it very likely is, that she could have treatable breast cancer and die within a year because she doesn't have the money to pay for health care. Just imagine how scared you would feel and how angry you might feel, just that people like Ed just take it for granted. Like, well, if his mom gets cancer, then it's a given that she's going to get health care. Now, of course, you can make an argument in the United States that's not always true, but I hope you get my point. And so that constant state of insecurity and that constant state of fear, not knowing if you're going to survive into the next year, is ever present in a lot of people's lives. And so when someone in your family, you have 10 people in your family, and one person meets someone in the United States, and like Ed, and Ed just has, even though Ed might not be rich in the American standards, he is virtually a millionaire in this town standards. And why wouldn't she share, being that she's connected to Ed? Well, one, why wouldn't Ed share his money and privilege and safety with her? And two, why wouldn't she share their safety and security with the rest of the family? The sister asked him for money. She said because she was going bankrupt and her business was falling apart, and she needed a little bit of extra money to help her get by so that she could continue to make money. Now, from Ed's point of view, it sounds like a scam. It's like, oh, I'm being scammed for money. Well, it's possible that if the sister's business doesn't survive, that half of the family's income will go down the tubes. In the United States, we tend to think like, well, you're an entrepreneur, you decided to go into business for yourself. If things don't work out, then you can always just go back to work at the post office or get a job as a waiter or go back to school and work at Microsoft. In privileged societies in the United States, you have options. In this community, it's possible that when the sister talks about her business failing, everyone in this family might somewhat depend on that sister earning money because they share with each other. In the United States, when you have a career, the expectation is you're not going to be giving your money to your siblings. or your nephews or your parents. In the United States, we're individualistic, so our money is ours. Whereas in the Philippines, it's not that way. People share with each other. If one person is rich and the other person is poor in a family, it's just a given that you're going to share. You're going to help each other out. That's kind of a nice way to live if you think about it. When the sister asked him for money, it's possible that it comes from that cultural understanding and it's not some sort of scam or insult to him. But to him, given his cultural pocket, it does feel like an insult, which he's entitled to, but he shouldn't assume that his way of being is the way everyone is, and he shouldn't assume that his privilege is the way that everyone feels. And he should try to extend himself into this family and understand that. And it's driving me crazy that he's not, because through that misunderstanding, he could really, hurt other people's feelings and make other people feel like crap for asking for just common security that they're trying to get. All right, well, that does it for that best of video in which we watched a condensed version of the meal ticket reactions. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Also, subscribe below. Also, watch out for future best of videos for Ed and Rose and other couples as well. And everyone out there, please take care of yourself because you deserve it. You really, really do.